All right, baby. UFC 270 was last night, and you know we got to talk about the flyweight championship fight between Brandon Moreno, who is currently holding the belt, versus Deiveson Figueiredo, aka God of War. Man, you talk about a fight living up to the expectations. Now, this was the trilogy fight because obviously they have fought two times prior to that. The first one ended in a draw, which was, I mean, a surprise to all of us watching it. Then the second fight, Moreno finally crosses over and becomes the champion by submitting Deiveson. So now you get this third fight. And, you know, with the trilogy fight, you never know how it's going to go, right? And people could have made a case that they felt Moreno was already up, 2-0 in this particular trilogy. But, this fight starts and right away, you could see a different version of Deiveson. I know he switched his training camps and things like that because he wanted to work on controlling the distance, being more patient as well, because that was some of the reasons that had got him in trouble in the first two fights. Just, always wanting to engage, always wanting to have that brawl, throw, just keep throwing until the best man, is standing still. But that's not the best approach versus Brandon. And the thing that was interesting was this. Typically, in the flyweight division, Deiveson is the bully. Deiveson hits the hardest. He's the bigger fighter, the stronger fighter. And most of the time, he has everybody else backing up. But Brandon, in this particular one, man, just continued to prove that he did have the heavier hands. And when he would touch Deiveson was reacting, baby. You could see that Brandon definitely had the power advantage and at times looked like the bigger fighter. It was a crazy scene. But what I will say is this. I thought that Deiveson's game plan was sharp. He stuck with it both physically and mentally because Brandon definitely was trying to, get Deiveson to come up out of his focused mentality and engage a little bit more. But at the end of the day, man, Deiveson just showed that he had that true championship grit. And as a whole, man, I know we have never seen a fourth fight between anybody in the UFC, but daggone, you got my vote, baby. You got my vote because these two are just the perfect pair. When you talk about fights, I mean, it's just kind of like Ali Frazier. Like certain guys, they just go together. They just go together, man. I could watch these guys fight 30 more times and I would still love it. I would pay for it. It does not matter because they are that interesting of a fight. And stylistically, they just match. Man, so for me, I definitely enjoyed it. It was good to see Deiveson recapture the belt. I could have easily saw it being a draw as well, and I would not have hated it. But for me, man, I did think that Deiveson was just more calculated, even though he didn't have necessarily the crazy output or the crazy significant strikes. I just thought as a whole, he did enough to get the job done. So it was good to see that he got that and was rewarded with a unanimous decision. But like I said, for me, man, I am all for the fourth fight between these guys. And shout out to Triple C, Henry Cejudo making an appearance in the corner. And I like that because you could see in Deiveson's approach, the wrestling. Every time they got close, shooting for the legs. That's a Henry Cejudo staple, and I loved it, loved it. So I definitely want to see where this thing goes. But as we always do, let me know your thoughts on the fight between Brandon and Figueiredo, the trilogy fight. And if you're interested in seeing them fight a fourth one, or if you're just like, you know what, I want to see somebody else in there with these guys, man. Let me get some new blood in there. But either way, I appreciate you for tuning in. And until next time, baby, peace.